Live from the iconic Corky and Lenny's Restaurant and Delicatessen, we are the fabulous Boomer Boys. I'm excited. This is Bruce Bogart. We have been friends since the 4th grade. And Bruce, can you believe it? We have been doing this show now for 1 year. They said
I love the sound effects.
Yeah, great sound. Great sound. And we don't have an applause side either, so that's great. So 1 year, and to celebrate the 1 year, before we get to our guest, by the way, who's Cleveland's leading relationship coach. So you're going to love this one. And we talked to her earlier, everything's on the table. So we're going to have some good questions here for all of you. Anyway.
You sound terrible, by the way. You have a cold?
I went to Canada.
Do you think maybe you should sit this one out? I can do it, you know.
We made it through. We made it through a year. I want to do it for 2 years. I think.
Listen, we'll vote on it. You can break the tie.
Okay, all right. So, to celebrate our 1 year anniversary, we are going to be doing a special broadcast from the new downtown Van Aken district.
At Van Aken in Warrensville next week.
Next week, next Tuesday, and to really make it a big deal, we have Robin Swoboda.
Whoa!
One of Cleveland's #1 personality over the years. For those of you that have not seen us all the way through this year, Robin was our very first guest and really got us off to a great start. And she's been kind enough to say to come back, and we're going to catch up with what Robin's doing. And there's a lot.
Great.
If you follow her on Facebook, there's a lot of things been going on in Robin's life. So she's been kind enough to still come on and talk about it. And she's always got great stories and a lot of fun. And hey, you can't get more professional and popular than Robin Swoboda. So she will be here, and we hope all of you will tune it in. And it's going to be Tuesday night. We're still going to be at 7 o'clock. If you've ever been to the Van Aken or you haven't been to the district, there's a garage parking. There's plenty of parking. It's at the corner of, as Bruce said, Warrensville and Chagrin, right on Farnsley. You can enter the garage off of Warrensville.
It's a brand new facility. It's beautiful.
Right.
You need to see it anyway.
And we are going to be in the what they call the Market Square.
Right.
The Market Square. And it's a kind of a massive food court, but it's not Burger King and McDonald's.
Alan, we need you to stand outside next week and direct people in. Can you do that?
Right. Oh yeah.
Wear a coat.
So we're going to be there. We're going to be by the stage, and we've got speakers. So if you come there, you'll be able to hear. And well, we're just real excited about it. So I hope everybody will join us then.
Okay. What about tonight?
All right. Tonight we have Kathy Dawson.
Yay.
As I said, she is Cleveland's leading relationship coach.
It's one syllable. You stumble.
I emphasize it because she's not a psychotherapist, okay, which a lot of people sometimes confuse that with. That we're going to talk with her about it.
Let's get her out.
So let's bring her out here. Everybody, Kathy Dawson. Because I have a cold, I didn't shake hands or hug her.
Don't touch me.
Okay. Good night, everybody. He propped you to that. Okay. Anyway, so Kathy, all right off the bat, I have to ask you. I mean, what's the difference between being a relationship coach and a psychotherapist or a psychologist? All those different things.
I'm so glad you asked that question.
Well, first I'll tell you, I ask good questions.
There's value in both. There's value in therapy and there's value in coaching. The difference is that therapy is it's deeper than coaching. It's psychotherapy. It's working with emotions, deep family of origin things, going way back, right? Coaching meets you where you are today. What are you doing in your relationship today? Where do you want it to go? And how are you going to get there? So it kind of feels like you're coming to relationship school when you come to relationship coaching.
Is there homework?
Oh yeah, nothing too intense. But the point of coaching is to keep you accountable, right, to yourself and to your relationship.
Okay. So when people come to you and they don't go to they may also go to psychologists, right? They don't have to necessarily. They go. It's kind of two different things. Right?
Yes. Now, by the way, I have radar for people who could use therapy. So if somebody comes in and I think they need deeper work, I'm the first one to say, I think you want to go to therapy as well as coaching, but you need deeper work. I'll tell them.
Is coaching covered by insurance?
Good question. No.
Bad answer.
So a lot of people will say that I'll just go where I don't have to pay for it, kind of stuff.
Could be.
Yeah.
And they'll get a different
But you
experience.
get what you pay for, though.
Well, and it isn't good or bad, it's just different,
Okay.
okay?
All right.
And you do
Now,
mostly couples?
I do both, individuals and couples, and sometimes even families. Like a
family.
mother-daughter, I had a father and 2 sons in.
well, Bruce was a product of divorce. So I'm
Some
sure
sure
that-
that broken out. Before it was fashionable.
Yeah.
Well, that's just in the 60s, like.
I don't think they had
Okay, yeah.
I don't think when your parents, split up, I don't think there were relationship coaches back in the 60s, were there?
Oh my gosh, no.
This is kind of a new field.
And there were therapists, but it wasn't as easily accessible. People didn't do it as often.
Well, I mean, it used to be therapists, and since Bruce and I have both been divorced, we're not holding back here, we know that usually you go to therapists when you're getting divorced, and it's already over. And they're pretty much
That's
telling
because you didn't want to work on your marriage.
All right. But, they're telling you it's more what they want to do is tell you about, here's how you should handle the kids and some things of that nature.
It's very feeling-based, right? And that's a good thing. The thing is, though, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
Some therapists give you strategies and skills, and that's great. Some don't, and that's okay. But I'm all about what are you going to do about it? I'd like to help you develop a tool bag of 35 different tools for your relationship.
Okay, now, I want to say we didn't just pick you, out of nowhere to be a guest. Give her a little bit of the credentials. Because one week Bruce had on here a food critic who had never been to a restaurant. But,
It's a great show.
well, I didn't say that, but anyway.
No, she just hadn't been to restaurants you were at. That's
Yeah.
it, Bob.
Well,
You
okay.
were a rich kid. She was like me. She was from the streets of a middle-class suburb.
Okay. Did we grow up together in South Euclid? Okay. Well, anyway, so when we say you're Cleveland's leading relationship, since 1992 you've been featured on national magazines. You've been on the Today Show, one of my favorite shows. I have to watch. I can't leave the house till I watch the Today Show. And you've worked with couples and individuals, and you've written some books. Right? Okay, give us a little bit about the books.
Well, my first book was Diagnosis Married, and that was when I went on the Today Show to promote it. My second book was Cleveland Couples 40 Inspiring Stories of Love and Commitment, published by Gray.
Okay, we've had people on here from Gray.
Yeah,
He is,
they're
the Gray Publishing is locally here in Cleveland. This guy is great. He had Neil Zerker, Dan Coughlin, Brett Larkin, John Gorman, all these people. So I think that it's a great idea that he
Let me answer.
has
Let me
local
answer.
people.
A lot of people are happily married, happily in relationships. What makes one of those 40 an inspiring story?
Each story had some kind of stumbling block that they were willing to share, something that they had to get through and come out on the other side. That was the whole point. The whole fairy tale thing, you're going to get married, and it's going to be great. We do everyone a disservice to make them think that it's going to be no work involved, right? You're going to have stuff.
Yeah,
Life's about stuff.
Marriage is, there's work,
Yeah, effort.
Any good relationship, whether
Yes,
Bruce and I, we got to work together. Boy, we do.
Every relationship, friends, parents, in-law,
Right.
whatever, right?
Right.
Yeah,
No,
it's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. Now, when, I know everybody out there is thinking about this, so I'm going to bring it up.
Okay, just put it up.
Baby boomers, when we were in college, your sexual relationship was one thing, right?
What do you mean one way?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a lot of different options. there.
yeah, well,
Do you get that?
no, okay, right. So when you're in college, your urges are different. Than when you're like in your 60s, let's say, right? Is that am I correct in saying for some people? Yeah.
Wait a second, I'm interrupting right now. I have known you my entire life. Your urges are no different now. At all. Anybody disagree? I'm sorry.
Well, maybe urges are the wrong word, but I think in a relationship, I think the relationship changes.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Help me. Save me.
So, yeah, I mean, we all have a different libido, even when you're young. Not everybody has the same libido. And as we age, some people's libido declines, and some people stays the same. So it's learning how to manage that, right? And it does take effort. It takes attention. Rather than throwing it under the rug and pretending the issue's not there, you want to look at it and talk about it.
Now, you don't write prescriptions.
No.
I'm sorry, Bruce. But- But you can talk about sexual aids and, well, I like to call them toys.
Yeah,
things like
I want to
that.
be clear, I'm not a sexual therapist.
Okay.
However, I'm a big believer that what happens outside of the bedroom determines what's going to happen inside the bedroom. If you're communicating, if you're laughing, if you're having fun, if you're making memories, Mother Nature is likely to take an effect, you know, it's going to.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, I'm gonna get in trouble with this, but the best sex is when it's with somebody you like,
Oh.
right?
See, that's a profound comment.
Well, I mean, I can't help but, hold on, I can't help but think about a guy like a Robert Kraft, you know, who stops at
Careful.
a
You don't have insurance.
right. So he goes to or forget him, but let's say a person that goes to a massage parlor, for example, to have, you know, his, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with
Talk
it.
about relationships. We're talking about technical.
That's different than the
Stuart, I
sexual
know why
encounter
you
you
put
have
the
in a
show.
relationship.
Well, sure.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And you know, we have two consenting adults, so depending on the relationship, sky's the limit, right? I mean, as long as two people are consenting
Yeah.
and the basis is love.
What percentage of people who come to you for help what is sex an issue?
It's hard to nail exactly, but I would say probably 30 to 40%.
So there's a lot more than just sex. I
But-
can't explain it to
Yeah.
you.
Here's the thing. When sex is an issue, let's look at what's happening outside the bedroom, right?
Right.
If they're not
Yeah.
connecting outside of the bedroom,
Then the sex is gonna be
yeah,
fun.
you can still have, but it's not going to be meaningful growth kind of. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this, as a woman coach, okay? And this comes from someone in my office, a woman actually, who I always like to survey the people that'll look at steel when I'm having a guest like you. And I ask them, is there any questions you have? And a woman there, a woman there asked me, she said, do you have a problem, or do people have a problem sometimes when a man comes in and he has to take direction from a woman? What, in your, okay, I think that's a good question.
No, that's a good question. I personally have not had that experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they think, she said to me, you know, she's never gone, and she's not saying she has an issue, but she says, if she ever did, she wonders if she would go, if it would be her husband, you know, if they would tell her husband to do things that maybe, you know, for the relationship, he may say, well, she's a woman, of course she's taking her side, or something like
So
that.
here's the thing, I've been working with men and women for 27 years. And when I talk to a man in my office, I say, from my experience, what other men are telling me, this is what they're telling me. Do you agree? And most of the time, if not all the time, say, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not coming from, here's what I think you need to do, although sometimes there's a point when I do that. But I say, listen, this is what I've learned from other men, right?
Right, no, yeah, again,
So-
I had to do that, I work with her, she has.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did. That's called Ask Coach Kathy.
Ask OK, right, okay. So you have an online site, right? Do you have to take questions online? Tell us a
I
little
do.
bit.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I'm open, I have a newsletter every month, and part of the newsletter is Ask Coach Kathy, so I field questions from people.
What is the actual address for your
It's
website?
it's kathythecoach.com.
And that's Kathy with a K.
Yes.
KathyTheCoach.com. Okay. You want to make sure people can get into that, you know, that. I tell you, you're going to get a lot of hits after the show.
Okay, let's walk through the process, okay? So you get a call, a husband and wife want to come in and talk to you. They've been recommended, they might need some coaching. And you, I'm guessing, talk to each of them for a few minutes alone and together kind of thing?
They have a couple options. If they want to come individually before we meet together, that's an option, I'm fine, I can do that. Now, whether they meet individually or as a couple, the first thing I do with them, I have a whiteboard in my office, so this is also why it feels like.
You have a what here?
Whiteboard, it's like a chalkboard.
Oh,
Yeah, with the
chalkboard.
marker, you know.
Oh.
So I know so. But what I do with them is called a relationship timeline.
Oh, okay.
So I'm their secretary, and they tell me what to put on this timeline. But that's how I get the evolution of their relationship from the moment they met to
So what would you
today.
ask them typically? What do you have, must have some standardized questions you ask to start.
Well, what I do is I draw the line. I say, okay, when did you first meet? Okay. Were you dating anybody else? What was the next significant thing that happened? When you began dating, was it casual? Was it intense? And as we go along, I'll say, are there any red flags between here and here? And inevitably somebody says, oh yeah. And I'll say, okay, what is that, right? And then the whole point of doing this is to see what the patterns are in the relationship, because we all have them, I don't care who you are.
Well, and that's the other thing I was going to say. I mean, everybody has red flags about something.
Of course they do.
No marriage is, mine is as close to perfect as could be, but I mean, we all have Right, I mean, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. He jokes, because if he's not joking, he's in trouble. But, okay, so...
I have a question for you two tomorrow, if you need to know.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Could you help us?
Yeah,
Oh, with our relationship?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
totally.
All right.
Listen, we've been friends since 4th grade.
Fourth grade.
And he was always the cool one in school, and I was always the nerd, and that's okay, because I played to that level, and it went on that way for 50 or 60 years. And it occurred to, we were talking about it on the way over here today, I was talking with my wife about it. In all these years, he never, up until the show, he never would say, I'll call you, or he never called me voluntarily. It was always, you call me. And we have other people in the audience who says, call me. And never in a bad way, that's just the way it was. And now we're doing a show, and he calls me too many times. I want to get a new number. Yeah, try to set boundaries. And we had someone on our show, who was it on our show, who said we should only talk once a week. Is it Walter Sterling?
Yep. Walter Sterling, yeah.
He said you guys shouldn't talk about once a week. You show up for the show and do it.
I think that's a good idea, because it keeps it fresh.
Say whatever you want now.
Well, here we go again. He booked you, so you're going to take his...
It's we.
That's right. Pronoun we, your team.
Okay, we, right.
Okay, so
I see a red flag.
with communication, just so you know, less is more. Okay,
Less is
communication, less is more. Part of our problem in our culture is we overtalk.
Well, I'm sure I do that. I will admit that.
You have to do that.
No, that's why I love doing this.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. No,
Yeah.
I know I overtalk. And, but that's what part of why I'm a good salesman.
Oh, well.
Because I know when to stop.
That's good.
Because I know when to stop when it comes to sales.
You gotta hear your client, right?
Right. Now listen, somebody's making fun of me. When I'm 70 years old, you should know what you're good at and what you're not good at. Right, is that
And
right?
with the option to be good at new things and
Yeah.
know what you're good at.
Okay, good.
How do you know when you're getting to where you need to be with a couple, and you say, you try it without me, you don't need me? How do you get to that level?
By 12 weeks, they will have learned the 35 tools. I give them the option of a monthly maintenance. And the point of them being in my office is for me to get them out of my office, right? Yeah, so I'm not doing my job if I'm not getting them out.
Well, that tells me you're ethical, because a lot of people would churn the files.
No.
Well, yeah, like Howard Stern, he's been going to a psychiatrist.
You're not Howard Stern.
I know. He's been going to somebody for 20 years. I mean, something's wrong there.
He mentions it every week.
Every week he mentions Howard Stern. Right.
Howard Stern.
So here's what I do. I teach people how to go see a therapist. And one of the things I say is, when you interview a therapist, you tell them what you want to get out of the session. And you say, have you had experience with this issue? Right? And I would like to be able to do it over this course of time, and if you don't think you can do it, and we need to go longer, that's fine. But I do not want to be going in circles.
Right.
Just say it like it is.
Well, and that's
You
what
don't
happens
wanna
with
be
Bruce
rude.
and I. That's what happens with Bruce and I.
Bruce and me.
Okay. So we go in circles because we've known each other so long. We know our good points and bad points. So that's part of the reason we also get along so well.
Right. You know your strengths and your weaknesses.
Right. And the weaknesses aren't going to change at this age. Right?
Well, that could be true.
Yeah. Yes, Bruce.
Name one of my weaknesses.
Oh.
I withdraw the question.
No. So I have couples do this thing called the 10 things I love about you.
Oh, yeah, let's hear that.
All right,
Get me out of
you've
this.
got to be able to talk about what bothers you, right, in a relationship, constructively. But you darn well better keep your eye on what you love about the person, or you're going to be in big trouble down the line.
Can you tell when one of the two people doesn't have their heart in it? You can tell.
Oh, yeah.
What do you do?
I look right at them and I say, are you all in on this?
And they lie sometimes, I'm sure.
Well,
Well, sure.
It's her
usually,
job, she figures it out.
yeah, usually I'll say, because here's what I'm saying, and I have a concern,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I tell people, be honest, because you're just wasting your time and your money if you don't.
Yeah. Now, we do love each other. All kidding aside.
Oh, absolutely. Take a bullet?
No, yeah.
What?
No.
I don't know if I take a bullet, but I do love it.
You know, I am the product of a broken home.
Right.
When you say things like that,
Take it in there.
and my mother had a bad ear. What?
You know, so I can take that into account.
Yeah.
And that, you know, and it's, yeah, this brings up another topic, I don't know if it comes up for you, but we have a group of friends that we've been friends with since the 4th grade. We have one who's here tonight, Stuart Fenton, and Bruce and I have been friends literally since the 4th grade.
That's so great.
And we have a group that we've kind of been friends with, pretty much close to that. And I don't see that with millennials. Do you? Is that something? Have you noticed that millennials don't really have those same connections that like our baby boomer generation had? Am I wrong there?
You know, I try not to generalize. We really aren't going to know that until the millennials are our age, right? I mean,
But it seems like they're already
Our kids,
Well-
Bob, our kids, are they millennials? What are they? They're not, they're
yeah,
white.
our kids are.
No,
Well,
our kids are
My kids are
Gen X.
37.
Gen X.
Are you-
They're Gen X.
37.
I think they're Gen Xers.
Okay, ours
They're a
are
little close to
33,
40.
31,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm concerned about with the millennials is the whole iPhone thing and the lack of connection face to face.
Yeah, with the computers.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern, you know, interpersonal communication.
Right.
Right?
And we had that when Lee Fisher was on, for those of you that want to go back and watch that show. He's the dean of the Cleveland State Law School, and he was talking about how the millennials seem to be smarter than past generations of kids when it comes to doing the work, to write the briefs and that kind of thing, but they lack some of the communication skills to go up in front of a jury or a judge.
Ooh, okay.
And you know, so they have to, so they're aware of that at the law school, so they're working on that more than
Things
they
like
used to.
eye contact.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, you know, so I think that works right back to what you are. And that eye contact with your spouse or your best friend is important too,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you don't want to stare them down, but you do want to have some, you want to have some connection.
You ever have a couple come in to you and you talk to them for a half hour, they do the whiteboard thing, you say, guys, why are you here? You seem to be so connected.
You know, I had a couple recently. They came in before they were getting married. And I did say, we do this thing where we score their 9 departments in the relationship, and their scores were really high. And I said, wow, this is really great. So tell me the reason you're here. And they said, we want to keep it that way. And I was like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Preventive maintenance.
Yeah, so how many, I mean, let's get an idea here for those in the audience, either watching on YouTube or here. By the way, great crowd tonight, thank you very much. Well, how many sessions, there has to be somewhat of an average where you know you're making progress or not.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so is there a number you can put on
So
that?
there's a honeymoon period, right? So they have this time where they're doing something, they're seeing something, they're already feeling really good. It's usually around the 6th week that if they're gonna tank, it's gonna show up.
Okay.
So I don't have a whip, I can't make people do the homework, right? But I do say to them about that time, look, I don't wanna waste your time, I don't wanna waste your money. I'm noticing the homework isn't getting done, right? We're not seeing the progress we wanna see. So what is it you need to do? What do you think you need to do? Oh, we're so bad, we're not doing it. I said, you're not bad, but you just want to get on a different path here because you're coming in week after week and we're not seeing any changes. And that's usually when they say, oh, we better do this.
I was reading one of some of your writings, and one of the things I noticed, which I thought was great, and I bet this is something maybe boomers can relate to with our children that are now married, how important it is to still have that date with just your spouse or significant other,
Like a
whatever
date
it is, you know,
night.
right, to just, without the kids around, without the family, and I saw you, and I'm a big believer in that. I think, you know, I always try to do that, and I still got divorced, but I think it,
You spend too much time together.
but no, really, I mean, I think you know, but it works with my second wife I work with. I think you need to have that time. And it's another thing that I think sometimes the millennials and the Gen X's maybe aren't thinking that way. You know, they think they got to be with their kid at every second, every minute. And
I could have a whole hour on that.
Yeah.
We do a disservice to our children to make the world revolve around them. Most kids need to see their parents going out and having fun together. They need to know that mommy and daddy like/love each other, right?
Right. I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm not saying you neglect your kids, of course not. But
No, don't leave in the car when it's 95 degrees. But, you know, I understand that. But,
Right.
yeah.
And there's a myriad of ways that you can do that.
Okay, give us a couple.
So Dick and I, my husband's out there, one of the things that we've been doing.
Dick Dawson, everybody!
Hold that thought.
Careful, Bob.
How hard is it to be married to a coach?
It's
I mean, is she, you know, are you sometimes worried, am I doing the right thing, or?
Careful, Bob.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave it at that. I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's easy, because you
All right, I gotta be honest with you, it's wonderful.
Yeah. Good answer.
There are some times when Kathy will say, and this is great, you might want to say it this way.
Well,
rather than,
yeah.
And I go, okay, it's good.
Well, I mean, let's not kid you, you guys still fight occasionally.
We have disagreements.
Yeah, not fight, but, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a couple times where it's not our proudest moment, but, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, again, it's
And
part
we're
of,
normal.
it's part of a relationship.
Right.
Okay, so go back to what you were saying.
So, one of the things Dick and I have done for years is this thing called, strap in for this, okay?
Bob's in the bottom strap.
Strap into it.
Just said it, I'm just talking about Bob.
It's called the 10-second kiss. Now,
Oh.
this, for years we did this at the end of the day when Dick would come home from work. It set the tone for the evening. You know how sometimes you get into this perfunctory peck? Hi, honey. It's like a cardboard kiss, right? So even when our kids were little, we would make a beeline for each other, and we'd give each other a 10-second kiss, and the kids would try to get in between us, and then when they became teenagers, they're like, I gotta get a room, you know, all this other stuff. But it was really important to do it. You know, there are 5 points, just stop me if I'm wrong.
No, go ahead.
But there are 5 points.
I think Bruce needs to hear this.
There are 5 points of connection during a day. They add up to 19 seconds. And if you don't have 19 seconds for this, we got a bigger problem. So the first point of connection is upon awakening. Rather than bounding out of bed, setting your alarm, turning it off, and off on your day, take a minute and connect. I'm not talking about sex necessarily, but connect with your partner. Don't wake him up. But somehow, like, put
He's
your
got a
hand on his
female
shoulder. Or, what's it?
You said don't wake him up, he's got a female partner. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Second point of connection is before you separate, you give each other what's called a 5-second hug. All right? This isn't.
I'm going to check all of those. I think those.
Absolutely.
Okay, so will we get this on film? So a 5-second hug.
You want me to
is, you don't have to stand. A 5-second hug isn't pat, 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 right? It's not rub, 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 rub. It's an embrace. It's a hold for 5 seconds.
Go ahead, show them what a good 5 seconds.
Yeah, Bob wants the 10-second kiss.
So that's number 2. Number 3 is not tactile, it's technological. You can either send a text, an email, a voicemail, a fax if you want. But all you're saying is, I'm thinking of you. It's 4 words. It's isolated. It's a connection. See, that's where technology can help you, right? And you do that once a day. The 4th connection is that 5-second kiss at the end of the 10-second kiss at the end of the day. The last one is upon going to bed at the same time. Now the big question is, how many people go to bed together under the covers within 5 minutes of each other?
Not too many.
Thank you for being honest.
No,
I thought you meant me. Okay.
No, because I am I'm a late night person. I'm not afraid to say that. My wife is she goes to bed early, and she's an earlier, or we get up at the same time, but I don't need as much sleep, so.
Okay. So
And I like to watch the late night shows. That's where I get a lot of my,
So I'm not an extremist.
How strong am I, by the way? How strong am I?
I'm not an extremist. I'm not saying you have to go to bed together every night, but 3 nights a week. Pick 3 to get under the covers at the same time. It'll make a huge difference.
You can always get out of it.
oh yeah, can you get out of bed after you? let's say let's say my wife would fall asleep, I could get out of bed.
Yes, I would say that's okay. There's something magical that happens when we fall asleep relatively close to each other, at the same time. But sadly, so many people aren't doing that.
That brings me to the thought. I've become aware in the last 3 to 5 months of friends of mine who appear to be reasonably happy in their relationships, that they're in their 60s and teasing 70, they're sleeping in separate bedrooms now. Because one snores or this or that. What's that all about? I never heard of such a thing.
That's an exception.
God bless you.
If you
Carrie.
snore, if you snore, all bets are off. You go in separate rooms because your sleep is the most. You have to get sleep.
Oh, okay. So that's a legitimate reason.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. You can find other ways to connect.
Yeah.
Maybe before you fall asleep.
Before you fall asleep.
Cuddle or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Good question. We could use more time here, but we.
Oh, this is great.
This is
First of all,
great.
the 10
Wait,
seconds
is that
is
anybody
so
here? All right, so everybody get your email address so they can go to your website and get.
My website is kathythecoach.com, and you'll get my email on the website.
And are your books available on the website?
They are.
The books are available, okay.
And if someone buys your book, that doesn't mean people are going to think they have a shitty relationship, right?
Right.
People need to know.
Offensive.
We grow where we go, right?
Exactly.
Just because you go to you doesn't, just like that other couple you said, they just want to make sure it keeps going.
I have a lot of premarital couples.
Yeah, no, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to forget, we have a real special kind of guest here tonight. He's in our audience, Mark Baxt. When we came up with the idea to do this, Bruce and I are like zero knowledge about technical stuff. So we had to find somebody and Tyler is our person. Can we get a shot at Tyler over there? Tyler was the person that we needed to get on board here, so he could set this up and put us on YouTube and all that. So where do you go? And I have to admit, Susie Gottesman, whose father used to own a big ad agency in town, said to me, why don't you try my friend Mark Bax, who teaches at Lorraine Community College. And Mark is the one that found this Tyler. He's here tonight with his wife, and I'd like to tell you, without him, we would not have a show. So please give him a round of applause. That's what I'm going to tell you the big news, because Bruce and I, even though we've been doing this a year, this next show, where we celebrate our anniversary, is going to be, we think, fabulous. We're looking for a big crowd. We hope all those of you watching on YouTube, those of you here tonight, will come join us at the Van Aken District. Am I saying that right? Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Okay. And it's really a beautiful place. It's a great spot. It's got all kinds of, it's not a Burger King food court, by the way. I mean, they've got some cool things to eat there. And they've got a lot of those boutiques and stuff, things of that nature. It's stores that you won't find anywhere else in Cleveland, restaurants as well. So we're recommending that you come about 6, get yourself comfortable, pick up a sandwich or something. At 7 o'clock, we will be presenting to you Robin Swoboda, and you can clap again.
Can I say something before we sign off?
You always get the last word.
The last word, I never get the last word. I get the penultimate word, but not the last word. Anyway, here's the thing. First of all, thanks to Alan, our bodyguard, for keeping us safe for another week. And on a serious note, January 1st of '49, Jimmy Masseria was born. Those of us who grew up in the South Euclid neighborhood, we revered his friendship. There's several people in the house who knew him. He passed away this week. So to his family, God love you.
He was a legend in South Euclid, no doubt about it. But anyway,
And other than that,
other than that, please, thank you so much. We had a great guest, and the show's going to continue next